So the point of this screencast is to explain a kind of confusing and really maddening aspect of CSS that will help you guys get your midterms in and hopefully help you understand how CSS works a little bit better. So our objective today is to change the site title of our WordPress website using our 2012 child theme to be a different color. So what is it that we're looking at here? This is probably a heading. We know that it's a link. The site title is always a link. It links back to just the home page, whatever you have that set to. So let's use Firebug to figure out what this is. And so we see that it's a size 1 heading, and it of course is a link. That's A. A stands for anchor. So there are a couple of different ways that we can do this. Let's just pretend that we don't have the luxury of just changing it over here. We want to make this thing red. Let's do this just using our brains. So we couldn't just select A because that would change all the colors of all the links on the entire page. So let's see what happens if we just try and change. Let's look at what div it's inside. Or here, even better, let's just use the site title class to figure that out. Let's see what happens if we try and change site title to be red. All right, so our amateur CSS logic will dictate that we've selected for the class site title and told it to be red, so let's see what happens. And nothing happens. And that's because when you're trying to change the color of a link, you need to specifically state that you want to change the color of the link. So let's just add another step that is. So site title A. So that's saying that all A's, which is links. I really hate that link is, the element is A. It makes it really weird to say to people. Anyway, so all A's within the class site title should be red. Let's see if that worked. And it did not. That's because there's these levels of specificity going on. If we really wanted to select just for this one particular H1 with the class site title, which is a link, then we'd have to go like this. Before you select a class, you need to say all H1s with the site title containing a link be the color red. So simple, isn't it, right? And so that accomplished it. But there's another way that we can do that. Like what we did was got super specific by saying this exact one happens one time on the entire site should be red. It didn't work when we went just class and then A because it's being overridden by these rules up here. Like I said earlier, we could just change the color right here, but we don't want to do that. We want to be super awesome. But let's see, why would this work when this does not? You can see there's another nice little feature of Firebug, in that it says that, oh, this style rule would be in effect, but it has been crossed out. It's been overridden because this one is more specific. See, if we get rid of that style rule, then it reverts down to this one, the one that we wrote. So why is it doing like that? Well, the reason is that the way CSS likes to operate is that you start with the most specific div that the element you want to change is in, and then work your way down. So they started with div with a class site header, and then moved down to H1, and then finally A. You can see that site header starts right here. And again, header is just one of these new fancy HTML5 elements. It works just the same as div. But so let's say we're contrarians and we don't want to do things the same way. So I can prove to you that what I'm saying is true. by just going into the header.php, and I can add in my own div. Let's call it my own div. Close it. So now we can use this to style this. Instead of site title, we can just say my own div, and all H1s that are links will turn red. Again, what we're selecting for is we start with anything with the class myOwnDiv that has an H1 inside of it that also is a link will be colored red. Let's see if that worked. And there we go. So again, that was a bit of a roundabout way of doing things, but hopefully that sheds just a little bit, a tiny fraction of light on the wonders of CSS.